Okay, good morning. Welcome to Friday. It's 14th of March 2025 and it's the end of the second week of March. I hope you're all doing well. Okay, so we're gonna quickly check crude oil because I think yesterday I did mention that we are likely going to go down. We did go down and we've pulled back. So if you look at what I was showing you yesterday, give me 1 second. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. There we go. Okay, so yesterday I talked about price pulling back to this as an entry and then coming for these lows here, right? And they did that right there, right? And based on what it did, I think we will be coming for this low and that low. So today that's what I'm expecting the crude oil to go. Okay, so expect them to drop, take out this low and then that low as well. It came back to my entry and then we are rejecting. Okay, on the 1 hour we just closed through this fair value gap that was created in London. So I think pretty much we should be going down from here, right, to attack these lows here. So that's the, I'll say, trade idea for the day. I do have another trade idea, but it's a little bit too late. Euro pound, it's likely going to go and attack 0.84497. If we don't get there, then that will be a trade for Monday, because on the daily time frame we are heading for this high, right? Remember, when we get close to high, they can pull back, stop people out, and then make a run for it. So that's what I think is happening, and this high and this high is the next upside objective. I don't know if they are going to run for them today. However, keep an eye on it. If you see any pullback, you wanna buy. And I'm gonna teach something specific today, but I'll wait a little bit. I'm going to wait a little bit. I need a cup of tea. I need a cup of tea. Okay, so dollar index. I might as well talk about it right now. Should I? Maybe not. Maybe yes. Okay, so let's go on the daily. So you can see the daily yesterday failed to close above the gap. The H4 that we were watching at the time also failed to close above the gap. Right now, this does not count. This is like aftermarket. It's not. I don't use those data, right? So ignore that one. Focusing on. Remember, Forex is based on time of the day. Okay, there's a huge what's the word I'm looking for? There's a huge importance to time when it comes to Forex. I don't know about cryptos, but Forex, time is crucial. All right, so the time of the day that price will run for a high, or time of the day price will run for a low, is very, very important. And the time of the day, it's London and New York. Asia, not so much, maybe for the Asian pairs, but for dollar index and the majors, you're gonna be focusing on London and New York. Okay, so this morning price run for the high and rejected, which that's what I expected, because if the gap or the volume imbalance fail to be closed above, it means that there is selling pressure. Okay, drop down to the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, that's all I did. I dropped down to the 15 minutes time frame, and then I highlighted this down candle here, anticipating that they're gonna break it, and then lo and behold, they eventually did. Initially was this one, and then it broke with a gap. So again, if you're here, make sure you're learning. All right, don't just watch, learn. Write some things down. Because I'm always teaching, and I teach for a reason. I want you to learn how to see these things that I'm pointing out on the charts. Okay, so we will likely go for these lows here. Maybe we'll pause somewhere in there, and then they'll come for the New York session low over here eventually. Maybe not today, but if they do, great. Let me teach you the pattern, or let me talk about what I wanted to teach. Very, very specific, and then we can carry on. So remember, I was saying something about the previous period. So when I say period, it can put H for daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, previous period. But this time I'm talking about the daily. Okay, specific, the daily highs and lows. So imagine that this is a daily high. Okay, that's a daily high. Now if we run, again, it's very specific, so pay attention, because I've seen two trade ideas based on what I'm showing you. It's something that I do, but I saw two trade ideas today, and I decided, you know what, let me talk about it, because it can be one of the easiest way to actually get trade ideas during the course of the week. Now, it does not happen all the time, but whenever it happens, it's very, 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 very powerful. Okay, so that's why I've decided to talk about it today. So essentially what it is you have a previous day's high, or even a previous day's low. It doesn't matter, anyone. So what you're looking for is for price to run the high and reject, or price to run the low and then reject. But there's a specific time. You want this high to be run during the London session, or this low to be run during the London session. Okay, now if they run it during the London session, if they run it during the London session, then what you're going to do I don't know why this is behaving like that. Give me a second, guys. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we want this high or low to be run at a specific time of the day. All right, so the run above the high should happen in London and then reject during the New York session. So a run above it and then reject during the New York session. A run below it and then reject during the, so run below during London, reject during the New York. Then if it pulls back, you're gonna buy. If it pulls back, you're gonna sell to go down. Now essentially what this one will create is it's gonna create the candle that I talked about like this. Right, it's gonna create something like this. That type of candle does not exist. Come on. It has to open here. There you go. Okay, so you get eventually a candle like this. Now it can be an up candle, can be a down candle, doesn't matter. What is important is the time that I'm talking about. So we go above it during the London and then we reject during the New York, or we go below it during the London and then reject during the New York. If they run a low, it will also be something like this. Again, this can be a down candle, can be an up candle, doesn't matter. What you're going to be looking for is the next day to come for this high and or that high, or the next day to come for this low and or that low. Remember I said and or. So it's going to come for this and or that. So it can come for both of them, or it can come for just this one. Okay. And again, the time is very specific. The third day, this third day, that's when the pullback will happen. Or sometimes the pullback can happen during the course of the trading day, the day that the market ran this high. The pullback can start happening there, and then the next day, price will pull back. If you measure the high and the low, pull back to OTE 618 to 79 retracement level, and then it will come for this low and or that low. Or over here, the same thing. It will come for a pullback and then go up to attack this and or that one. When you have these two specific times of the day, taking out the high or low, there's a high probability price is gonna do what I'm saying. Okay, there's a high probability price is gonna do what I'm saying. But again, it's very specific. There's no if and buts. Okay, so there's no I don't understand, because I've just explained it to you. It has to go for the high during the London session and then reject during the New York session. Okay, so it goes above it and then it comes back down. It goes below it and then come back up. Then it's gonna pull back, then you sell. Let me show you an example. We have the dollar index doing, we have the dollar doing something like that today. So if we close as we are, so that's the run above it, and then in London, and then the rejection. Okay. The reason why I brought the crude oil up earlier was because of that. Crude oil is doing something like that. So if you look at crude oil, we ran previous day's high in London and then we reject. That's why yesterday was powerful, but they pulled back today. Now on the daily, what that gives you, this is what I was trying to, the picture I was trying to paint in your head. gives you something like this. Okay, so price is likely going to come for this low and or that low. Okay, so when it does pull back, that's the best opportunity. It does that like quite a lot more than what's the word? It does it more than this pattern does not happen often. Let me say it that way. Okay, it does not happen often, but when it does, it's very, very powerful. Okay, very, 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 very powerful. So you know, I've just given it to you. Go in and then back test it and then see for yourself. Okay, go in, back test it. There's one actually happening on EuroCAD. So look at it here. So if you look at EuroCAD, notice that this candle takes out this low. Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, on the 1 hour time frame, that's how it looks like. We run it in London, so that previous day's low is here. So that's London, goes down, and then it rejects in New York session, and then we pull back. So this pullback, like I was saying, can be initiated or can be started during that same day, and then the next day it will just open, drop, and then go up. So that would be power 3 for today. We open, we drop, and then go up. And then if you pull that fib, it'll bring you to OTE 618 to 79 retracement level. The same thing that this one did. This high to this low, it came to 70.5 to the pip and then rejected. Okay, I think there was one on, let me see, where was it? This one happened in ES on Wednesday. So Wednesday went above Tuesday's high, but this one was during the New York session. Okay, so it will not qualify, but you can back test it. Okay, the New York session one, because if New York reject, it's similar, but I prefer it being London, and the reason is if London forms the high of the day, if we are bearish, London should form the high of the day. So in the bearish condition, London is likely going to form the high. So had we gone up with London and then reject, and we close like we did here, okay, then this low and that low will be the target. That is why the day that we had the session, okay, when this was rejecting, I said look down here. Okay, all right, hopefully it makes sense. If it doesn't, just go back and play, repeat, and you get it. Okay, and you can study it on the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, look for something like this. So here, right, something like this. That's how it looks like on the daily. So it goes down, it rejects, and the next day trades down and then goes up. So in here, that's about the 12th of February. So on the 12th of February, if you go to the that's how it looks like. So that's the run for the previous day's low, and then the reject. The next day it pulls back, and then we go higher. So this low here to this high. Didn't quite get to OTE here, but that's where you would be looking for the entry, and then price should go up. This is a theory that I think ICT talked about very, very long time ago, using the 3 days market data. Okay, so a swing forms within 3 days. So if they are taking out a previous day's low and rejecting, that's a potential swing forming. Or if they are taking out a previous day high and it's rejecting, that's a potential swing high forming. Okay, so the third day, that's what you're looking for, the completion of the swing. Okay. All right. British pound, I think, did something like that today. So they took it out in London. Now, if they can close, if they don't go for this high, let's say this high, this high remains and that high remains, okay, and then we close for the day. On the 1 hour, you see we've gone for previous day's low in London, and then we're rejecting, right? Currently we're rejecting, so that will give you what? A potential swing in the formation. So if today was, let's say, Thursday, then you'll be looking for the buy tomorrow, which will be Friday. But today is Friday, so the buy should happen on Monday. If, that's a big if they don't go for this high today. Okay, if they don't go for that high today, then you basically be looking for that as a target. Okay, I'm already in because I saw it and I saw the dollar index breaking. I missed the euro. The euro did not take out the previous day's low. That is why I did not buy that one. Even though I saw it reversing, I opted for the pound because I wanted to buy a run on stop. Okay, so yeah, going into Monday, if we don't go for that high, there you go. That's a trade for next week to go and attack this high, and dollar index will go for this low and that, this low, and that low, because that's 2 up candles, so that's redistribution happening, and then they will drop to the 70.5 level. Okay, so yeah, I think I've given you something very, I won't say advanced, but very powerful today. Okay, moving on. So euro, you're expecting them to go up. Let me again, I don't know, but I'm always in favor of just helping you to expand your knowledge about the market. Okay, so let me teach you something that can also help you to recognize when price is in a reaccumulation and it's in redistribution. Okay, because when price is in a reaccumulation or is in a redistribution, if you can spot it, you can get in early. Okay, if you can spot the reaccumulation or redistribution, you can get in early. Okay, so how does the reaccumulation looks like? So remember I talked about, let's go to the dollar index. I talked about high resistance versus low resistance. So high resistance looks like this, and then low resistance looks like that. So when price is in a specific direction, aka price is moving up or price is moving down, and then they start printing a candle against what price is doing. So in this case, we are going up, and then price decides to print a down candle. When they are printing a down candle, pay attention to how that candle is printing, because if they print a down candle leaving a low resistance, which means the candle will look like this. So this will be an up candle, this will be a down candle, this will be a down candle. This is low resistance. This is the daily time frame. Right? This is low resistance. When price is coming back up, you'll find it very, very easy to go and attack this. But if we are pulling back and then they print something like this, like this is high resistance. So this might not be reaccumulation. It might be like a bigger pullback. Okay. So when price is dropping or when price is rallying, whenever they print a candle that is against what price is doing, aka if you're going up, then they'll print down candles, or if they're going down, then they print up candles. So let's go and check what I'm talking about on the dollar index. Okay, so let's put it on the daily so you can understand. Notice how they printed these up candles. This low is higher than that one. That is your low resistance. When that is happening, okay, you should be thinking that this is just redistribution. The same way, let me see if I can find, let's use the British pound. Okay, here, that's low resistance. Here, that's low resistance. So that's reaccumulation. Here, that's low resistance. So the reason why when we started I said this is likely going to take out this high here, and then that one, that was the reason, because it's low resistance. They printed two down candles. Remember, the price is going up. We're printing up candles, and then they print these two down candles. When the first down candle prints, think, is this candle higher than that one? Okay. Yes, it does change it to red, but is this candle higher than that one? If it's not, and price has been pushing higher like this, then these two will be low resistance. Hence, price is going to come back and attack that. Okay. Let me see if I can find another example. I think the Euro Aussie is doing something like that. So Euro Aussie, this is low resistance. So eventually, price is gonna go and attack that. They've taken out the low, the previous day's low in London. Okay, and then they rejected. So if we close as we are going into next week, you're looking for a buy to attack this high, and the high. I think Euro New Zealand is doing something similar. This low resistance. Pound Aussie, leave Pound Aussie alone. It's not doing anything. It's consolidating. I think Pound New Zealand, same thing. Right. Here, this one and that one. The last two, not the last three. You're always looking at the last two, the movement down. The last two, the middle, and then the one that moves lower. The one that moves lower should always be like that. Okay, not like this. If it's like this, something else. likely going to be something else. So even with what is happening now, that is a low resistance, so that's good for continuation to the upside. Now when it's also doing that, right, you can drop down to the lower time frame and then see a pattern that will unfold in the lower time frame that will give you a hint that again that is a buy. Because what you're trying to see here is you want to see whether they move down. Okay, whether they move down is a buy or whether the move down is actually a reversal or a pullback. Remember, price can go like this without pulling back, or price can go up, pull back, go up, pull back, go up, pull back. Okay, that's two ways price goes up. It goes up, accumulate, goes up, accumulate, goes up, or you go up, pull back, go up, pull back, go up. That's two ways price moves up. So how do you know which is which? That's what I'm showing you. If you go up and then we are pulling back, how does it do it? Is it low resistance or high resistance? If it's high resistance, then there's a likelihood that this is a big pullback, and it's fractal, so it can happen on any time frame. So if the weekly is going up, you might see the weekly giving you something like that in the form of a reaccumulation or in the form of a retracement. Okay, all right, I think I've exhausted this knowledge. So if you got it, great. If you didn't, like I said, just go back and watch it again. It will all click for you. Let's carry on. So I've given you some tips here on how you can basically look for trade ideas going into next week on euro for this, and then pound for that. Okay, all right. Gold. So the weekly candle ended up being a reaccumulation, so they bought more in here and we've screamed higher. So I think we're gonna continue going higher. Next week you're gonna be looking for a buy. So next week we want to, now this is why, based on what I've just taught you, okay, this is why I was saying I want to see them reject before I look for the trade. Why? Because this was high resistance. So when it's high resistance, there's a likelihood that this is not reaccumulation and it might begin a pullback. Under normal circumstances, this would be a reaccumulation, so you'll be looking for a buy. But because it had a high resistance, that is why I gave the analysis that I gave this week, which is look for the run above it and then reject, because it was high resistance. Had it been this candle been a little bit lower than that, then that would have changed the narrative for me. Just that little wick changes the narrative, and I'll probably would have been in a buy, but you know, it's all good. Okay, so gold going into next week, you're going to be looking for a buy. You can project the down candle up and 168. It's a very good target for next week, and then 2, very good target for next week. So the play for next week will be wait for Monday to trade, possibly trade in here and then we look for a buy to continue going here and there, right? So that is that for that is that for gold. Let's look at crude oil. I think crude oil, I've already talked about it. We are likely going to be coming down to this low and potentially that this afternoon. If they don't, Monday, that's what you'll be expecting. All right. Let's go to ES. Yay. So ES, yesterday I told you that they were going to drop, and then just wait for this time of the day and then look for a sell. Okay, wait for 2 p.m. my time and then look for a sell. And where was it gonna go? This low. So yesterday my trade hit my target, the one that I took here, the one that I explained why price came above this high. Okay, held on to it, and then time of the day, boom, took out this low, and then I was out. Very, very, very easy trade. Now it's easy because price is dropping. All you have to do is just look for a sell, and it had the pattern that I just taught you today, which is we did run the preview of this high, but it happened in New York session. So this is New York, run previous this high, reject, pull back. The same day the pullback initiated. That's why I sold that day, because it came. This pullback here should be happening here the next day. This should have closed somewhere down here, and then next day, which is here, we pull back and then we drop. But they happen to pull back the whole day or the same day. That's why I shorted. Today I'm kind of expecting something similar, based on how the day has formed. We've just confirmed a swing, so we are not likely going to go up yet. Okay, I think we still have these candles high to trade to. We still have that candle high to trade to, so that's the target for the day. That's the target for the day. So I'm expecting them to, during the New York session, reject and then come to this level. So ES, that's basically what you'll be looking for today. Maybe in future we will trade it together. In future we might trade it together, fingers crossed. Or in future we might do some trading together, because if we have the tools for it, why not? When I'm trading, I'll just broadcast it live, and then everybody can also take part of it. Okay, let's continue. Let's go to cryptos. Okay, so AI not doing much. Oops. Okay, that gap is still our reference point. We want them to close above it before we can do anything in terms of buying. Until then, I think we're still likely gonna come back down. Okay, so expect it's either we close above it or we reject. So if we reject, or if you're going to reject, as I taught you yesterday, look at the order flow on the lower time frame and then pay attention to the down candles, because if it will reject here and not continue going up, they will break the down candle on the daily time, on the 1 hour time frame. So keep an eye on that, because if they are going to go down, that 1 hour time frame candle will not support price. Okay, it will break it, and then it will give up the ghost and it will continue going down. So keep an eye on that. For AI to go up, this down candle needs to hold, and then we can close above it. Solana and Bitcoin and Ethereum, we are still looking for lower prices. XRP, no. Okay, XRP, you're not looking for that. But Solana, yes, you're looking for lower price. I think where we are now is a good price level to even consider a sell. So we have this high to this low. So that's a pullback. That's a pullback. So right then, it's not, you've not missed much. That's still 618. That's 70.5. We'll be coming for this low. Okay. So Bitcoin, same thing. This high, that's a previous this high, this low, we are in premium, right? So I think we'll reject and come back down, but still keep an eye on the gap, because anything is possible. If they can close above it, then it will be moving a little bit higher than this gap here. So if we close above it, then they might be coming. You see on the H4. Check on the H1. Yeah, it might come somewhere all the way up here, because that's where we have a gap. We don't have anything in here. The only gap that we have is somewhere up there, which is here. That's the only place we have a gap. So if we breach the gap, this one here on the daily, then it might scream all the way up to that level. Okay. Height, rejecting that level. Right, that's what, in my opinion, should be happening, because I don't see anything down here. So if you don't reject here, I don't know, but it's not enough. I don't think this is enough. Let's see. We don't even know if it's gonna close above it, like it is doing currently. If they can, then there will be signs that we might be retracing, not reversing, because we are still bearish. So it might be retracing, but it's gonna be hard. Let me be honest. It's gonna be hard. So let's see how today is gonna close. We didn't have any rate, so I can't give you a buy idea on it for today. All that I can say is wait, let them close above the previous day's high, and then that's when you can look for a trade idea. Okay. And then I think Ripple, I said stay away from it. Don't sell it, because it's not gonna go down. That's all. We talked about this breaker holding, coming for this level, and trade to this candle's high. That is what it's going to do. But once we get there, it might give another pullback. Not a reversal, but it might give another pullback, because we have a rate here. I just gave you an example. If it was a redistribution, then that candle, this low, should be higher than that one. Okay, if this is a redistribution, this low, just like this, notice that this low is higher than that one. So that's low resistance. So when we reject, we're gonna take it out easily. Had it been something like this, then that's a complete different story. Okay, that would have been a complete different story. So because of how price is now, once we hit this level, you might see some buyers coming in. So it's just be aware, but don't expect it to go up. It might just come up a little bit, maybe up here, and then you go down again. That's when it will I call it neutralize. Okay, it will neutralize the high resistance. So when it's like this, when it comes back here, then it pushes back up, then it neutralizes this. This is no more high resistance. They've now created low resistance to make it easier for price to move lower. So if they touch here, okay, and then go up, then we don't have a high resistance anymore, because this one has neutralized it. Because the idea is when it's like this, price is going to come here and then go up. So if they do come and then give a pullback, that's it. This level has done its job, and then they can come back and then break it. Okay, and then let's go to Chachki. Okay, so Chachki, it seems like price couldn't go all the way up there, but I still think we might be going up there. I still think we might be going up there. We have created a gap on the daily, but I'll just be on the 1 hour time frame. Watch this one. If we lose it, then obviously we won't go up there again. So watch that. If we lose that down candle, that's it. We are not going to go up there again, and then we will resume going lower to attack these lows here. Right? Okay, cool. So that's pretty much it for the cryptocurrencies. Let's go back to the normal pairs. These are the normal pairs, and let's talk about this pair and Aussie. Right? Remember what I said. Where is it going? Up here or here? 50%. 50% of the range. I think they've already touched it. Yeah. So we are now going to go to OTE. Next week is going to be fun on this pair because they have confirmed a swing low. Very, very nice. Yesterday, it stopped me out twice. I'll be honest. It stopped me out twice, and eventually I got in. So let me show you. The first trade happened here. I bought that, went up, I held on to it. I was expecting them to break, and it came back down, stopped me out, I break even. Then I bought it here again. When it stopped me at break even, I bought it here again, expecting it to go up. Came back down, stopped me out. And then yesterday, right in here, which is what I said I've reserved for the holders, okay, for the private members. That knowledge, I've reserved it. I'm not going to talk about it, but I did use that to get an entry here, down here. So I'm still riding that. I've taken partial above this high, and then the rest I've left it. I think we are in for that move to go for this and that, especially these two. They're too clean. Okay, so we'll be expecting them to go up there. So next week, that is, these two pairs are very, very hot, high probability hot cake for upside for next week. Right? New Zealand, same thing. This also stopped me out twice. So I took 4 losses on these two pairs, and then I made I made them back because the risk that I take is always less. Okay, I took a point 0.20 as the risk. 0.20. So 0.20 twice on this, and then 0.20 twice on the other one. But just one trade has made that back. Okay, and that's the benefit of trading with risk, low risk, because you can get stopped out so many times, but then one trade will make everything back and more. Because I know once we get above this, then I've recovered the loss plus some profit. Okay, so these two trades are very hot for next week, so keep an eye on them. Yeah, pretty much. So that's it. Okay, I'm giving you something for next week. So I'll see you guys on Monday, and then fingers crossed, crypto will do some magic over the course of the weekend, so we can have more fun on the crypto, because I think most people are interested in cryptos now. I was having a lecture on Tuesday advising new traders that are coming into the market, very, very, very new, and I was telling them that cryptos are for Generation Z, Gen Z. We, the old people, we are still interested in the fiat currencies and gold, oil, S&P 500 and stuff, because they are here. They've been here for a long time. That's why they are stable. They are not erratic like crypto. Crypto can move 20% in a day. In my trading, since I've been in the market over this year will be 11 years, once. But even with that was like a news event on the Swiss, on the Euro Swiss. That price dropped more than what an average currency will move once. But cryptos, several times, it can move like 20%, 30% in a day. All right, so diversify. All that I'm trying to say is diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because if you do, the day that your basket will fall, you lose everything. But if you diversify and you put your eggs in different baskets, one fall, the other one can lay chickens or hens, and then they will lay more eggs for you. All right, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care.